Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while for me, but today we're going to do something kind of fun and put a new air cleaner that's sort of a Ram Air style on the 86.
There it goes.
Let's tear down! Alright, to get started, what I did was I pulled out the grill. It's just a few screws up here. There's a few up here in the grill and a couple down here that hold it in. And I took the headlight buckets out. And this is what we ordered. I got it from a birthday actually. It's a Spectre air cleaner kit. And it's got a nice little washable element in it. And what it is you can plumb these hoses from your air cleaner. I'll go from here in this truck. And the radiator supports on these, the actual air intake was right here. And it came with these. So water and air couldn't get in, but the actual intake hose ran to this hole. And this actually, it was in here like this. But these radiator supports had one on each side. So I'm going to use those to put the Spectre air kit on. And here's one. Here's the other. It came with these adapters like this. And you can see this fits pretty nicely. What I'm going to do is use the holes that are already there, and I got some bolts with some washers, and just bolt those in there on each side, and that'll give us a nice little Ram Air effect when we're going down the road. I also had to get a carburetor spacer. It's just a mystery gasket carburetor spacer. I needed a little more clearance because the new air cleaner was actually hitting the electronic choke. And yes, I knocked our dirt dauber nest off over there. I'll get the rest of that off later. I don't get to drive this truck much, but we did want to get a few new parts for it. So let's get to putting this on. You notice these just thread on to the end of it. They're threaded inside and they run pretty far up on, so it's like that little design for this. Run it up snug. And the other one I put the bolts and washers through first, so that will be out of the way and done. This is a 5/16 bolt, by the way. Like I say, this truck isn't powerful by any means, but once you go down the road and it's not having to work for air and pull it in, it's already just there and kind of forced in. The Ram Air is good for, in this application, maybe an honest 10-15 horsepower. Won't be able to really feel it, but it'll help some. But if you have a performance oriented engine, you'd probably get an honest 20 and probably be able to tell it. Like the ram air Firebirds, that's an actual true ram air system on them, which I would like to have one of those cars one day. But the ram air on them, I think, if I read right, remember right, they actually had 15 or 20 more horsepower than the Camaros with the same engine, same year. By the way, don't wear a metal wristband and work close to your positive connection on your battery. It'll get hot real fast and burn your wrist. Just a little tip. These hoses are pretty rigid too. They're pretty thick if you can see down in it. And they can adjust any way you want. This is a lot like my children have some little, I can't remember the name of them, but I think they're called sound tubes or something, little toy. But these will stay pretty much wherever you want them. You can run them however you need if you decide to use something like this. And it kind of looks neat under the hood too. Something else I want to mention, when I took my air cleaner off, I noticed that I had a vacuum port open. I guess my old cap had rotted and fell off. So I picked up a little called Handy Pack. It's just vacuum port block offs, and had to stick one back on right here, which I wonder why my truck hadn't been running right. Like I said, I don't get to drive this truck a whole lot. So these are handy if you drive a older vehicle that's carbureted. They're cheap. Buy you a pack of them, throw in your vehicle. They have different sizes just to block off things. You know, truck starts running, idling too high, means you got a vacuum leak most of the time. You keep a pack of these thrown in the glove box or somewhere in the trunk if you got a car. Something kind of handy to have around to get you out of a high idle, not running right situation. Before, without these spacers, this is the bottom of the air cleaner. When I set it on, just pre-fitting everything, you can see it hits my electric choke control. So I ran to town to Parts House and got these spacers, and I chose to use 2 of them so I can get a little higher. I think it'll help me route my hoses better. Get those set on there, and we'll start stacking the air cleaner on. It comes with a nice washable pre-oiled air filter. Nothing wrong with that. It also, on the bottom, when this goes together, is a little ridge, not a ridge, but a gap here, so the air coming in can actually escape if need be. Because this only works until you're going down the road. That's when the air starts building in the plenum coming into your carburetor through the air intake, and it'll actually build a lot. If you've ever rode the windows down and stuck your hand out the window, you know what I'm talking about, how much air pressure there is out there. And this is just cheap forced induction. But like I say, only when you're going down the road does it work. I'll get a pretty chrome wing nut one day too, so don't fuss at me too bad about that. But let's see if we can start mocking these up some. Kind of shrink them down and mold them the way we want them to go. Now it's time to take it for a test drive. Well, did it make a difference with it just taking off? Probably not. But going down the road, when I drop a gear, like if I wanted to pass, I think I can tell an actual difference. And sounds good and it looks neat. I'll say that was a win. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll have some more stuff for you coming up in the future. I've been slacking, so I gotta get some videos put out because Andy's putting me to shame doing it. But thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.